So when people throw around this term states' rights, what does that actually mean? At its core, it's a constitutional principle. The 10th Amendment says that any powers not given to the federal government are reserved for the states or the people. That's the foundation of federalism. The idea was that states could serve as laboratories of democracy, and they could experiment with policies like raising the minimum wage, reforming education, or expanding health protection so that local laws could reflect the will and needs of their state citizens. States even have the power to expand rights beyond what the federal government guarantees as well, too. Here is the catch, though, the supremacy clause. So federal law always overrides state law, and states can't use states' rights as an excuse to take away constitutional rights. Historically, though, that's exactly what's happened. So states' rights was this rallying cry for maintaining slavery before the Civil War and later for enforcing segregation. In those cases, it wasn't about innovation or protecting people, it was about suppressing rights. Now let's talk about trigger laws. These are laws designed to automatically go into effect when a certain event happens. So the most famous example of this are the abortion trigger laws that a lot of states had. Dozens of states passed them years, sometimes decades, before Roe v. Wade was overturned. And the moment the Dobbs decision came down in 2022, those laws snapped into place. And here's why that's a misuse of states' rights. States' rights are supposed to allow current communities and legislators to decide how to best govern. But trigger laws bypass that process entirely, especially if they were passed decades before. The decision was already made by lawmakers in the past without any new vote, debate, or public accountability once the legal landscape changed. So instead of reflecting the will of today's people, trigger laws lock in the will of politicians from years and decades ago. That is not local governance, it's preemption. It strips away the democratic process. States' rights can be used to expand freedom, protect communities, and allow for diversity across the country. But when the principle gets twisted into a tool for oppression, whether it's slavery, segregation, or modern-day trigger laws, that's not states' rights in practice. That's states' rights only in name. And that's why I get so frustrated with this conversation, because people will be so dismissive and be like, if the majority of the people in a state agree that they want abortion bans, then what's wrong with that? The point is, many of these states did not hold a vote. What are we really saying here? Are you cool if we're bypassing democratic processes at this point then? It's fine if the majority of the people in a state agree, like in a truly democratic election, but that's not what happened. It's a misuse of the term. It's a manipulation of what it's supposed to be. Until next time, y'all.